Hey guys, it's me, Life. I'm super excited to be here tonight to bring you our third episode of Twinkie Talk, where we discuss the happenings for Twinking and retail World of Warcraft. Tonight I'm going to be with my beautiful best friend and co-host M, and we're going to be talking about the new leaked German surveys for the new potential classes in World of Warcraft. M, how do you feel about this whole subject?
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what Blizzard's doing with the game after the World Soul Saga. This kind of hints at it a little bit potentially. So there's
Yeah.
a lot to dissect here. I'm quite excited to get into it.
Me too. I'm really excited that they have so many possibilities to take the game in so many different directions when it comes into the class concepts for WoW. So, what's kind of the first one that you want to touch on?
Well, Prismatic stands out to me because everyone else kind of has a niche magic or skill type, whereas Prismatic seems to be covering a lot of the magic types. We got life magic, order magic, death magic, and shadow magic. So that makes me think that this class has a lot more connection to the cosmic scene or planetary scene than the other classes do,
Yeah.
which makes me think that it's going to come after, or this might be a class that Azeroth herself makes.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what that's going to be like.
Yeah, it's kind of like all the pantheon powers instead of like evokers where it's like aspectral powers. The
Yeah.
prismatic is talking about, the life pantheon, the order pantheon, which is like the titans, the pantheon of death, which is like the ones we saw in Shadowlands, and then they even have shadow listed here, which I'm assuming is more void, so maybe the void lords kind of
Mhm.
magic. I think the prismatic is conceptually something very original and unique to the World of Warcraft universe. So I think that might be my top contender for one of the new classes looking at this list. I
What
like,
armor class do you think it's going to be? I'm thinking male.
really,
I mean, it could also be plate or
I was
cloth, to be honest.
thinking
I do not
plate.
think leather.
I was actually thinking plate.
It
Um,
would make sense because Prismatic's usually like a diamond type of thing, and that's hard, so I could see
yeah.
plate.
Yeah, I definitely think I know there's so many things like, yeah, like hard as crystals. When I think of prismatic, I think of them like maybe being like magey, but like imbuing magical crystals in their armor or something. Like a
Hmm.
buffing kind of class, kind of like evokers were. Wow. I mean, that's just really cool, like dark magic, life magic order. I mean, like I can't even imagine the wonderful talent trees that they're going to be having. So, that's a cool one. What's another one that you're really excited about?
Astrologian stands out
Okay.
simply because I know we're going to Ulduar, so I'm assuming that this class comes from all the information we're going to get in Ulduar. The survey pretty much mentions it as like a star-powered caster,
Yeah.
manipulating gravity and celestial magic, so that'll be really interesting.
I'm getting like a
Uh,
mix of like Final Fantasy 14, like the
yeah.
Astrologian, and then also Star Wars The Force users.
Ooh, I can see that too. Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
manipulating gravity.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So I wonder if this is going to be like a gripping and pulling class as well.
yeah. Yeah, maybe. Oh, like a Death Knight? Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
or
Yeah.
maybe it has like gravity bombs and stuff like that.
That would be
This
really
stands out to
intense.
me as a cloth wear.
Yeah, me too. Definitely cloth wear. Like a master kind of like monk a little bit, but more like astrology behind it, I guess would be the right way. Definitely like a star seeker kind of caster, kind of similar to druid, balanced druids mixed with like a mistweaver monk is kind of the vibe I
Yeah,
get.
I would assume it's a balanced druid, but with a greater scope because it's more of space and not just aluminum.
I wonder if like let's say prismatic or astrologian, like I wonder if they are going to be similar in concept to some of the other classes that we already have in World of Warcraft, you know.
I think that moving forward, what we're gonna have is a blending of a lot of classes
Yeah.
into unique classes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Um,
I really like that
another
idea.
Yeah, well, they have a lot to work with in terms of lore, magic, and things like that that they haven't really touched on. I really like the idea of manipulating gravity. It completely changes up the game and adds a whole nother magic type.
Yep, it does.
So
It
I
does.
wonder, like, is gravity magic going to be debuffable or dispellable? I mean,
It
that
sounds
kind of
kind of
stuff.
like Frost, like how annoying is it going to be in PvP? Like, oh, you're slowed by gravity. Like, oh, you're
It's probably
bouncing
also
up
going to
really
speed up
high.
teammates. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like you feel weightless, you know?
Probably going to have knockbacks and things like that as well. It's probably going to feel a lot like a arcane mage, just
Yeah.
teleporting around everywhere.
Yeah, that's like really cool. I really like that one. Prismatic's cool too though. Like I do think in relation to PvP like how cool it would be to like I don't know, like have like supercharged life crystals like in your armor or something that makes you like a super tank, you know? But you could also be a healer and like raid healing the whole team while taking all the damage. Like I think that's a really interesting or like a Death Knight summon like Death and Decay while you're wearing life magic and sucking the life out of everyone else. I feel like that would be so cool.
Oh, if there were synergies between existing classes, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think they honestly should go that route. I think like incorporating more team comp would be beneficial for the game. Um, the next class we
Let's move
have
on.
is
Yeah.
Ley Weaver. The arcane masters linked to the ley lines for movement and magical powers.
Well, this sounds like an arcane mage on crack.
Yeah, it sounds yeah like blue dragonflight energy,
Very
Legion.
mobile.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Uh, definitely
I'm
Titan themes
surprised
as
it's
well.
yeah, I'm surprised it's taking this long for this class to be mentioned because we already had ley lines kind of featured in the game before, and nothing ever really came of that.
Mm-mm.
So I wonder if
Yeah,
this is the same kind of magic.
this also kind of just feels to me like it could be a hero spec for mages, though. Like, it doesn't really seem that significantly different from.
Yeah, that's the thing about these. A lot of them do sound like they're essentially just hero talents or an additional spec.
Yeah, like Arcane Masters. Okay, they're already using Arcane, so they're more masterful than, I guess, an ordinary mage in the Arcane arts. So, yeah, it's
Maybe
like
they're
a.
weaker but faster.
Yeah,
So they
it's.
have this weird dynamic where they can get behind teams or something like that.
Or maybe like a Mesmer or something, like in Guild Wars
Oh
2.
yeah.
Like they channel the ley lines and they can make like copies and stuff, like mirror image more kind of vibes. That's what I would rather see for a ley weaver. Like they're weaving the magic of the ley lines in order to conceptualize like mirror images and stuff. But I honestly think arcane mages are already doing that. So I don't know. I'm like on the fence about that one. That's probably not one of my
Maybe
favorites.
they can make bridges and stuff.
Oh.
Imagine if they could make a bridge from lumber mill to blacksmith. Your
Oh.
team just got to walk down,
Like you know, or they could even have pets. They could like weave like like
fly
a
people down, maybe pick them up,
yeah, like yeah, okay.
or
That's
teleport your
cooler.
teammates.
That's cooler. That's cooler. I like that. I like a summoning type class with that. The next one we have is Gunner, a double pistol specialist with elemental infused bullets. So like a shaman inside of double pistols.
An outlaw shaman, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. That's I like that they're trying to be creative and adding elemental like
I'm
side to
assuming
it.
that this one's gonna feel a lot like Rogue, and that it's gonna be a combo-based kind of thing,
Yeah, with
but
maybe
also
like
kind of feel like perhaps an enhanced shaman.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's dual pistol, but some pistols don't have extreme range in a lot of games, so maybe this will have the same distance as like an evoker.
yeah. I see evoker range for sure. Probably leatherware, I think.
Most likely leatherware.
I don't know. I'm not really excited for that one. But
It doesn't
I
stand out too much, no.
no, it just sounds like it would be a really cool rogue spec, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, where you
Yeah.
just drop the melee weapons outright and you just choose to be a
Yeah,
double
and it
pistol
gives
wielding.
yeah, and like kind of like poisons, they can infuse their bullets with like some sort of magic like that. I think that makes sense. Like I really like that concept for them. I think honestly looking at all of these classes too, it's really important for us to know like they sh like with druids already in the game having 4 spec options, I think it would be really cool for them to implement some of these classes, even if they don't become like the main class of the last Titan, like in the survey, they could become fourth specs for already pre-existing classes.
Yeah, they definitely sound like they would fit in pretty easily,
Yeah.
especially with the lore changes that are going to happen after Last Titan.
I am looking forward to this. This whole World Soul saga has been so impressive to me. Like the conceptualization, it finally feels like we have some real storytellers back in the Blizzard team. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of the past expansions felt disjointed, both in production and in lore.
I loved Dragonflight personally. It was a great expansion story-wise for me, especially towards the end with Amir and stuff because everyone knows I'm a night elf like person. Um, but like the beginning to the end of that expansion seemed kind of disjointed. So, especially with coming off of Shadowlands, which was widely considered a lore mess. But yeah,
Very much so.
back on our classes. How do you feel about Gunslinger?
Gunslinger sounds like either a heavier version of Gunner or a more tactical version of Gunner. The description says precise sharpshooters exploiting enemy weaknesses. So this sounds a lot like a hunter that specializes more in aim shot than any other type of hunter ability. It sounds a little redundant considering that we already have hunter.
And we already have
We already have
Marksman.
marksman, so it seems a little weird that we would add another marksman spec. Um, so it also says it's exploiting enemy weaknesses, so maybe it focuses more on debuffing enemies.
Yeah, I I can't even really even imagine because like I'm also kind of thinking like Star Wars like with the bazookas, with
Mm-hmm.
like screens and stuff because like they're exploiting yeah, like super range long distance, they put on a debuff and then they might be able to one shot you or something. I just yeah, like you said, like sniper shot kind of already fits that vibe. So,
And the name Gunslinger kind of gives it a more westy kind of
definitely
name.
Western. Yeah.
But there's no Western in WoW, is there? I mean, kind of,
No, not that I'm
but there's
aware of.
no. Well, there's some transmog that are kind of westerny with the like safari looking gear kind of, but that's not really Western.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't
So
know.
this makes me think that this class would have to come when an expansion better fits such things. And I
Yeah.
do think after Last Titan, we're going to an alternate timeline or back to the original timeline. I don't really know what they're gonna do, but
Yeah. I
and
think
then
it's going to
this
be
would
world
probably make more
changing.
sense.
You're right. It's going to be world changing.
Well, I think it has to be because we're getting cars. So
She wants roads,
Azeroth
guys.
doesn't work with cars. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we need roads.
We need roads, not gravel, pavements and stuff. Um, the next class is Celestial Lancer, a spear-wielding divine warrior with swift and deadly strikes.
I don't know what this is. Is this a ret paladin? This
Yeah,
sounds like a
it's
ret paladin to me.
like it kind of is giving the dragon or the dragoon from Final Fantasy
Yes.
14
Yes.
mixed with holy energy because I know at midnight we're going to be dealing with like holy and void magic. I just I feel like they're just trying to get that theme into World of Warcraft and I feel like there could potentially be better ways to do that. Like we already have Survival Hunter, with harpooning and stuff. You could you could just give Hunter a Lancer spec, you know, or something like that.
But
Uh,
isn't Lancer more of like a plate wearer?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Maybe
I
this is
guess you
like a
could.
combo plate wearer where it builds up combo points.
Yeah.
Because like
I would
Swift and
again,
Deadly Strikes kind of scream out combo points in like some rogue or monk behavior.
yeah, yeah. I'm really excited to kind of see that one. I like on that one. I would want to see specifically kind of the whole concept. Like I wish there was more information because I feel like they're on the verge of something really impressive with that. I just give me a little bit more because it just says divine warriors with swift everything. They didn't give us like really a field of magic where they would be in. They just say
Celestial, I
divine.
suppose.
So like holy, like holy lancers.
I don't know because celestial and holy aren't the same thing. So yeah, this one doesn't really make sense to me. Not enough information yet to really know what it is, where it is, and what it's gonna do. I'm assuming it's just the DPS class because it doesn't really mention tanking or healing at all.
Yeah, I wondered if they would have like stances and stuff, like a warrior too. Um, yeah, that I
The
mean,
next one though,
yeah. This one I have been wanting personally since
I think this is the one that everyone's been wanting, huh?
yeah, the Bard, which is a supportive song weaver enhancing allies through magical auras. And I did know that in the survey they also said about this class that it would be wielding potentially the songs and the cries of Azeroth herself.
Yeah,
So that makes it very unique to the World of Warcraft experience. Whereas like instead of just like literally like a little banjo tune or something, they're like actually channeling the voice of a god, which takes it to a new level. That takes it to something like really inspiring. Um, and it would
I
be
can
cool.
actually see this happening right now in game, like in lore and Hallowfell.
Yeah,
They're just like
yeah,
in the ends right now, singing, actually absorbing the magic
yeah,
and practicing the magic and getting in tune with it.
yeah. Or
I could see
even
this
like
coming out really soon, actually, like in Last Titan, even.
I know, I would love it. I would love it too, like if you could maybe even change your goddess who you listen to and they have like an
Ooh, and
Elune
then the songs
spec.
change. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we're both excited for that one. That's really
Well, yeah,
cool.
because there's so much. I mean, it's
Yeah.
true that Azeroth has a very radiant song right now, but there are other deities that whisper and
Yeah.
sing as well.
Yeah.
Picking up on those would be interesting. Elune's up there in the sky, yeah.
Yeah. I love that one. I That's the one I think I want the most. I do, however, really like Astrologian and Prismatic as well. But Bard is definitely one that I can see myself being really interested in playing. I'm also really interested in playing this next one, which is called a witch.
Which is called Witch, yeah.
Yeah, a dark spellcaster using curses, poison, and spiritual magic.
I
So,
think this one's long overdue. To be quite frank, we've
yeah,
had Death Knight, we've had Warlock. There hasn't been any real representation of death magic that's not just let's kill everything and summon a couple of minions. Where's
yeah,
your entire army? And I know that Necromancer's also coming, but I really do think that witches kind of lean into this as well. I
yeah.
think I think witches are also going to have a pet spec.
I hope they have a healing spec, and I hope that it's like throwing like, cause back in the day, like in MoP, druids used to be able to summon like big mushrooms and stuff and pop them on people and heal everyone. They kind of took away our mushrooms and made us more into just like
Oh, could you
flowers.
imagine you're in the back of your team just like stirring a cauldron real quick for like 2 seconds and
Yes.
then like a giant frog comes out or something?
Yeah, like that's like really cool in like debuffing and buffing, like giving throwing potions at people. I know down in the thing they also have an apothecary, but like I honestly think they should just push that into the witch as well.
Yeah, wand play could also come back with witches.
Oh, that
I
would
know
see, come
wand
on.
shooting doesn't do anything now.
Yeah.
So I could see that being some type of multiplier or combo generator for them or resource generator.
Yeah, and they said that too, the witch is kind of inspired from like the hedge witches from Gilneas and the Druss people. So they already have ways of connecting to life magic and witch doctors from like the trolls. So poisons and curses.
A witch druid would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I
But
really
I think
think
that this would be a priest fourth spec though.
yeah, like the witch doctors from the trolls were priests. Yeah.
That would be cool though if multiple classes could be multiple of these. I could see a shaman witch
Yeah,
being a
me
witch
too.
doctor.
Yeah.
I could see a priest being a witch. I could see a druid being a witch.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. And like I'm pretty sure there's already characters in WoW too that are witches, so
Yeah,
it's like already in the game. Kind of like
yeah,
bards
it's already
are.
in lore, so
Yeah. Okay, then we have Necromancer. We all know this. This was the potential other class that was going to come out in Wrath of the Lich King instead of Death Knight, but Death Knight won. Commanders of Undead Legions through Death Magic. Pretty simple class.
pretty self-explanatory. I think it's gonna have multiple ways or elements. potentially. Maybe a frost pets and maybe death magic pets.
See, I want them to
Um,
go more of a vampire route. Like maybe they have like
what
a
you leech health and stuff from
yes,
people.
yeah, like drain life mixed with blood decay, like from Warlock. Like I want them to be like full on like not only am I gonna summon you after you're dead, but like I'm gonna like grab you beforehand. Like you're my first victim, and then if you die you get to summon their corpse like in battle or something. Like I think that would be
That's cool.
so cool. And like let's say you're like a night elf or something that gets bit or whatever in your race and the dead, you have like kind of like hunter pets how they have like leech speed or whatever. You get like specific bonuses depending on like who you're targeting. I think that would be a cool way to make it different. Um yeah. I like that. I mean, I think they could play with that. They could play with that and make it unique so people don't feel like it's just Warlock or Death Knight copy 2.0. So,
It does seem like it might be though,
yeah,
just
they
with permanent pets.
yeah, but like Warlock already has permanent pet, and so do
So
Unholy
does
Death
Death Knight.
Knight. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't
This
know.
one would have to be unique in the way that the pets are handled.
That's why I think they should go like vampire route with that.
I could see like the damage that those pets do gets like distributed as health to your teammates kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that as well. Um,
Kind of like another type of attunement.
yeah, I just like there's so many amazing like opportunities for Blizzard
Atonement, sorry.
to do something creative with that one. Okay, what about the next one? What do you think?
Tinker. Well, this is clearly what everyone has wanted besides Bard.
Yep,
Um, it should already exist in the game, plain and simple. We have gnomes, we have goblins.
yep,
Why doesn't this class exist yet?
I
Uh,
agree.
it's it's very simple in how it could operate. I mean, you deploy mechs that act as like temporary pets or turrets. You get little gadgets that probably act as like hunter traps or also like ally buffs that people step into. And then I'm not quite sure what custom gear means. Maybe you're able to customize your gear a little bit more somehow as a tinkerer, like
Yeah,
a
like maybe enchant
reforging
it.
2.0. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking more like kind of like belts, like from engineering, you can put like a little bomb or something on it. Like maybe you could put like little missiles on your arms, your gloves.
Maybe you could put tinkers on all your gear. That'd be interesting. Could you
Yeah,
imagine a tinker on every single piece of gear?
that
Imagine like 14 procs within combat.
it would be really cool to see how they make that class different from engineering. Like I would really like them to be like total like super first aid person, like shoving needles in people's like face and stuff. You know,
The
um,
healing spec, yeah, it just pulls out a
yeah,
giant
like,
needle.
but like, yeah, like a really huge one, and then like, they have first aid kits that they're just throwing at people, bandages. Like that's how I would want to see that class, I guess. Or like, and then like maybe if they have a tank one, they actually are in a mech, you
They're
know?
in a little mech, yeah.
Yeah. Like I think that if they did it to that degree, it would be really something unique besides just like the engineering profession.
Yeah.
This one I'm really excited to talk about. This is an artificer, a Titan tech user with mechanical constructs and advanced weaponry. I used to read this book series where this guy was. Um, it was like this series about like everyone's in different guilds and like enchanting and all these stuff are like really really popular. And then he was like the last artificer like left because engineering and all the other ones were just like so much cooler. So he was trying to like kind of come up and be the underdog and like make it great again, with artificing. And he had this like super cool glove that he would like take different like gems and stuff and enchant it. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe he could
The
put,
Thanos class.
yeah, kind of, like literally, like, and maybe like blast somebody like the Titan guy. What's that guy's name? Iron Man. Just shoot like
Hmm.
laser beams out of his hands or stuff. I think it could be cool. Again, I feel like it doesn't really necessarily fit into the World of Warcraft scene at the moment, but if
It
Tinker
seems
were
like
to work,
yeah, it seems like another kind of tinker.
yeah, like maybe
But
it's
it
a
it
spec
focuses
in
in
tinkering.
Titan tech though, so
Yeah, whereas
an
like,
advanced weaponry. I wonder if it like brings out a giant artillery or something.
Yeah, I mean like I have no idea. I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool concept, especially if they're taking inspiration from, of course, like the book and other video games and stuff. I think that if they implement it in a way that made it very unique to World of Warcraft, I think it'd be really cool. This one is a popular one too, this next one. Spellbreakers. These are from if anyone loves Blood Elves in World of Warcraft. They're anti-magic warriors, converting enemy spells into power. So they're kind of like mage killers. Um, they protect Silvermoon already in the lore. So,
I could see this being a very deadly class in PvP, where it just sucks
yes.
all your mana, uh, interrupts
Ooh, yeah.
probably several of them, and then probably some type of mass dispelling or something like that.
Oh, that's super
They're also
cool.
considered warriors, so I wonder if they'd be like, what's the word, a battle mage,
Yeah.
where it's like a melee mage.
Yeah.
So that'd be really cool. So they're probably going to be in mail or plate.
Definitely plate, I
Um,
think plate for sure. I
and
love
then
that.
the
I like
fact
that class.
that they convert enemy. So I wonder if they like reduce like enemy damage taken and then turn that into some type of resource bank that they then use.
Kind of like combos, yeah, as well.
Yeah.
I hope they're like a really cool debuffer. It'd be like really cool in PvP to see like a, oh, you have unstable affliction, who cares?
It
You have
sounds like an
frostbomb,
anti-bard,
who cares?
really.
Yeah,
Like the bard's
yeah,
the one who buffs and the spellbreaker's the one who unbuffs the bard's buffs.
yeah. I really like that class concept. I think that that would fit perfectly since they're already in World of Warcraft, just like Bard, just like the Witch.
Yeah.
That's one I think that they could really do easily, and everyone would be really happy about. Um, Honestly, I would be so super stoked to see that. I would also hope that they would do like a way where the Spellbreaker can absorb like maybe even beneficial like pre-shields from them and then like distribute them to allies as well in like a new
You
way.
steal
Like
a pre-shield and put it on a homie.
yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe it's something different. Like it's just like replicated as like a positive spell or whatever, like renew or something, and you can just like put it on whatever you want. Um,
I'm assuming this class is going to be purely for counter.
I just don't know with that class what kind of specs would there be. Like it seems like it would only be a one spec Andy.
Probably just DPS. I could see maybe two specs. One focused more on the anti-magic aspects and one focused more on the conversion aspect of enemy spells into friendly power.
Yeah, like a
I don't know
buffer.
what a
Kind of
third
like
spec
a
would. Yeah.
it might be like a demon hunter. It might just have two specs.
Yeah.
Cuz I don't really see how I don't really know they could potentially be a type of healer if they're like somehow able to maybe absorb magic from everywhere, like maybe life magic, and like they could like all of a sudden the grass dies around them and they like you know heal their friends or whatever. I think that could be kind of cool. I don't really know.
Consume a fraction of your
Your
ally's
own health.
health to give it to another, or your own health to
Yeah,
give it to
yeah,
another person.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Okay, see, yeah, we got this. Come on, hire us, Blizzard. We already know what's going on. We already know the tea, the scoop, the whole bite. Um, the next class on this list is Titan Killer, wielders of legendary Titan Forged weapons for unmatched strength. That
This sounds like a
sounds
warrior.
that, and it also sounds the same as a Celestial Lancer.
Yeah. Um, I suppose if one of these is a ret paladin and one of these is a warrior, then one of these will be a death knight, right?
Yeah, it's just
It seems a little redundant with what's already in the game. Now,
yeah,
this just sounds like Fury as an entire class.
yeah,
Like you're wielding legendary forged weapons, so it's probably two-handers or something like that for unmatched strength. But that makes it sound like it's a little overhyped for what it would actually be, which is essentially just another warrior, I'm assuming.
it just feels like we could potentially just have artifact weapons again, and they could just give something really awesome to warriors or paladins, and then that is like the same theme. Like it just, yeah, it's
Titan
not.
Killer sounds more like a spell on an artifact weapon.
Yeah, I agree. It just seems a little
I don't know
blander.
how this would stand out as unique.
Yeah, me too.
There's not
Well,
enough information about it.
no, and like
And it kind of
which,
does give away the story a little bit. I'm just saying, Titan Killer. Thanks for spoiling things.
yeah,
How
it's
could the player be a Titan Killer if that hasn't happened? Think about it. Think about it. That means thanks for telling
yeah,
us what we already knew. But
yeah, yeah, the last Titan. Yeah, so
yeah, so
the last class on the survey is Apothecary, an alchemical master creating potions for combat and support. I do like this one, even though I do wish they implemented it into the Witch or the Tinkerer. I think that having a big, really cool potion user or like throwing traps down, kind of like hunters and stuff, like, like stuff like that, I think it's cool. So I'm not opposed to this one. I, however, personally do not think that that is going to make the cut out of all of the amazing classes that we've talked about earlier. That just seems kind of weak in the sauce, to be honest.
um, for me, I think it's a little more lore based of a type of thing. Like the thing that screams out to me about Apothecary class is imagine that you were one of the undead during Wrathgate, and you
Okay.
played as one of the apothecaries at the Wrathgate trying to kill the
Okay.
Horde in the Alliance.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that this is just going to be a kind of undead themed kind of lore. And I know it won't be. It'll probably be many, many races that are able to do this, but it really screams out to me as like Undercity Apothecary kind of menacing, dark medicine experiments and things like that. So I think you're going to be making abominations, turning enemies into abominations, and other things like that in order to like debuff them or have them explode or like corpse explosions and things like that.
But like,
I think,
if they do Necromancer, can they also do that? You know?
yeah, Necromancer and Apothecary sound a lot alike, but I guess Apothecary would just be more of like alchemy as a class.
Yeah, for sure,
Like
for sure.
you're going to be throwing. I could see this being a healer. I don't really see this being a tank, but I could see it being a DPS.
It would definitely be like DPS support or healer. I don't see a
Yeah.
tank.
Sounds
Um,
like it could mix things up a little bit in PvP and PvE,
yeah, for
but it
sure.
does also sound a little redundant with some of the other things that they mentioned Necromancer,
Yeah,
Witch.
but like, okay, like let's say, like, would you rather have a Necromancer or an Apothecary? Would you rather have a Witch or an
Actually,
Apothecary? Would you rather
see, that's
have?
kind of hard. That's kind of hard. When I
Yeah,
think Witch, I think wand casting and cauldron brewing. When I think Necromancer, I think a crypt and just like a whole bunch of skeletons, golems, and things like that.
yeah,
When I think Apothecary, I think like a chemistry set and a very dank, dark place. Um, so they
yeah.
all kind of have a unique iconography to them.
Okay, okay.
Um, that's already in the game, so it
Yeah, they
kind of
are.
works. But I don't know if all of these classes could come out and they feel unique. I think 5 or 6 of them could come out and they feel unique.
Yeah, I agree.
But some of them are a little redundant, like Gunner and Gunslinger. I don't know what a Celestial Lancer is. Sounds a lot like a Titan Killer.
Yeah,
Astrologian sounds unique. Prismatic sounds unique. Lay Weaver sounds unique. Bard, Witch, Necromancer, those are kind of unique, but kind of the same thing. Um, Tinkerer and Artificer sounds the same.
yeah. It sounds like they could.
Spellbreaker sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah,
The
I like
counter
them.
mage kind of build. And then Apothecary's all right.
Yeah,
I think it would be a kind of playing like a rogue, but like a potion thrower at the same time.
yeah, yeah. I see that. I see.
As I'm sure there's potions for going invisible, speeding up, taking less damage. So maybe this could be a tank spec where you're just chugging a whole bunch of chemicals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
Kind of
cool.
like the
Like,
bard would with beer.
yeah. I
Chemicals.
definitely think that, honestly, I'm super excited for Blizzard to come out with anything. I think that all of us are quite hungry for something amazing to enter World of Warcraft and kind of spice it up again. I mean, we haven't had a class since Evokers, and I felt like they did Evokers pretty good. I think they're kind of changing a little bit more now that they have the hero specs. I think they're really cool now. So yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm hoping that, in 5 years from this video or whatever, we could potentially
Hmm.
have one of the new classes in our war games for Twinking. So,
Yeah, I wonder
yeah.
how any of these would change the twinking meta. I could see a lot of them being really good in PvP.
Yeah, me too.
Of course, I'm scared that if we get 5 new classes at once, that they're all going to be
Busted.
ridiculously overpowered, just
Yeah.
like Death Knights and Evokers and Demon Hunters were.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I'm
that would
just
be
so
a little
excited though.
crazy if we had 5 flavor of the months instead of just one.
I mean though, to be honest, I kind of hope they release maybe multiple classes. I mean,
If they're going to release any, they should release at least 4, I think.
we're
Because a lot
ending
of
the
these
World So Saga. That
could
is
work.
3 expansions that you could just do 3 classes, you know?
Right. And also, once the World Soul Saga ends, we're going to want or we're going to need some incentive to want to play the game more. And I know they're going to change a whole bunch of stuff, new expansion, new land, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But I think by adding new classes, they'd really be able to change the way that people enjoy the game because we've all played a priest, we've all played a druid, a warrior, a paladin, so on and so on.
for
It'd be
so
nice
many
to make
years.
a new class. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us are enjoying Evoker now. Some of us are still enjoying Demon Hunter. Everyone's kind of gotten used to Death Knight. Death Knight doesn't stand out as a unique
I feel
class
like
anymore.
Monk is pretty not.
Monk as well. Monk's
Yes.
just kind of streamlined.
Yeah.
See, I even forgot Monk. That's how normalized it's
Yeah, it's
become.
like a regular class. Like, yeah, yeah, it doesn't scream. It's just been here for so long. Um, do you have any other comments? Any lasting comments?
I would like to ask some questions to the people in the comments.
Okay.
Um, how do you all think that this would change the twinking meta,
Yeah.
end game meta, and how do you think that some of these classes might synergize with existing classes?
Ooh,
So those are the two
yeah.
questions I want to ask the commenters. Feel free to answer down below.
Yeah, like I think Gunner in a rogue combo would be insane. So that's really cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching our third episode of Twinkie Talk. I love you guys, and I will see you guys for the next episode.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
and stay twinking.